Lake Huron. No.
Huron. Lord Huron. Isn't that guy's name? Lord. All right. Good morning. Something's different. Ah. Change is good. It is the constant. That's absolutely right. Well, good morning. Welcome to version. What is this? Version 9 or 10, maybe, of the Center for Spiritual Living Central Texas, where we think more expansively, live more completely, and live more joyously. Whoa! All right, joyously. All right. Our theme for the year is Be Love Now. And I have I don't know, we're going to do wristbands. Does anybody wear the wristbands? Only for I can only be loved for a month, so that works. Anyway, so I think we may forego that this time around. But let's look at our opening. I'd like to first thank Clark for a really cool meditation about light and being light now, as it were. And I was for that time, and I still am. So that's good. All right, let's say our opening affirmation on top of page 4, and it says, "We believe that there is an infinite power and wisdom that creates everything. We are expressions of this same power and wisdom. The thoughts, beliefs, and expectations we entertain with the most energy become our experience of life. When we change our energy and our attention, our experience changes to match." All right, and we have a birthday in the house, kind of belated by a few days, but Mr. Michael Fracasso had a birthday.
Thank you.
And it was on Tuesday, correct?
Yes.
It was on Tuesday. And I'm biting my tongue, dear. All right. And also, today, my wonderful teacher, Dr. Kennedy Schultz, has a birthday today. So happy heavenly birthday to you, dude. I never called him dude, but he would not have liked being called dude. So, and then many of you remember Michael McCallion. His birthday would be coming up this coming Saturday. But today we are celebrating Galileo, who helped us understand a few things about space, and Charles Tiffany, who was good with sparkly things, Susan B. Anthony, who did more than just show up on a dollar, Matt Groening, who was a good cartoonist, and Chris Farley, funny guy, and Gary Clark Jr., good musician. Yeah. All right. At this point, I'd like to invite Clark to come up and do an opening reading and treatment.
Okay, today's reading is I'm staying with the same reading I gave last week, because last week we were changing from that location to this location, and today we are now in this location. So we're still in that transition time of change. And what Ernest Holmes says about change is, nature will not let us stay in one place too long. She will let us stay just long enough to gather the experience necessary to the unfolding and advancement of the soul. This is a wise provision, for should we stay there too long, we would become too set, too rigid, too inflexible. Nature demands change in order that we may advance, and we are advancing. So with that in mind, how do we advance? We advance from remembering our divinity in mind. So let us take that into treatment. Affirming that I lift my mind now, uniting earth and heaven. I turn to the Spirit within me, knowing it is close. It is what I am, and through me It brings harmony and peace and joy to everyone I meet. Through the power of indwelling spirit, I am a blessing to myself and others. I invite spirit to direct my thoughts and acts, and know it is doing so right now. New ideas, new ways of doing things stimulate my imagination, and the intelligence within me accepts and acts upon them. I know that the divine presence within makes itself known to every person and encounter I meet. Joy, love, and acceptance spring eternally from me and blesses all my experience. I give thanks for all the tangible effects I see and I have had that have led me to this paradigm and continues now and ongoing. I release this word, knowing that it is already so because it is corresponded to perfectly as law and is our tangible experience and demonstration right now. And with love and gratitude, let us say together, and so it is now. And so it is now that I am pleased to be the first to introduce our first musical guest in our new space, and that is the birthday boy himself, Mr. Michael Fracasso. Welcome him, everybody.
Thank you. It's nice that we're still celebrating my birthday. I like that. Yeah.
Goes on and on.
I'm going to do this first song. Someone sent me a copy of Rich Brotherton doing my song, and I was like, wow. And it seems like a song that kind of maybe wrote it off the cuff, but now it seems more and more relevant these days. How many roads will they build to travel to? Places that ain't there no more. I've been here and there and all the way back again. Still ain't got no place like home. I've been to the south where the sun comes shining, up north where the leaves turn and fall. From east to west, I thought we had something, but there's nothing between us at all. From the mountains to the valleys, from the prairies to the sea. If you ain't got love, then you ain't got a nickel. God save this world, God save this country, God save her love for me. You hear people talk about the way things used to be. You wonder where they exist. Did they bury them all in the deep dark ocean and say adios with a kiss? Or maybe you think that the world is shrinking. Well, maybe it's your head that has swelled. When you can't see your toes around your big fat ego, then how in the world could you tell? From the mountains to the valleys, from the prairies to the sea. If you ain't got love, then you ain't got a nickel. God save this world, God save this this country. God save her love for me. Will they knock at your door in the name of progress and sell you the latest? It's new. You don't know what it's for, but it shoots up like a rocket and you throw it away when you're through. And you may pack up your bags and move for profit or blow where the wind sets you free. But when you lay down at night, may the stars be shining on all it was meant to be. From the mountains to the valleys, from the prairies to the sea. If you ain't got love, then you ain't got a nickel. God save this world, God save this country, God save her love for me. God save this world, God save this country, God save her love for me.
Michael, you were awesome at the fundraiser for Rich Brothers.
Oh, thank you.
Did you do that song
What?
at the fundraiser?
Did I?
Yeah, that's
No,
what
I did not.
you do.
No.
I don't know.
The band kind of directed
Yeah.
what I was gonna do, so.
You were really good.
I think, oh, Loretta,
Oh, you were great at that show. I'm glad you were.
thank you.
All right. Put that over there. Well, thank you again, Mike. And you sang the last line of my talk,
Oh, good.
and all it's meant to be. So we can go to lunch now. Yeah. But first, what do you call an old snowman? Water.
What?
Oh,
Sad.
During the recent ice-apocalypse, I decided to get the kids in the neighborhood were looking for something to do, so we got a bunch of people together, and I organized a really good hide-and-go-seek game. But good players are just so hard to find.
yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah.
Do go on. Don't encourage him. All right, this morning we're going to conclude our Life 101 series where we've looked at reviewing the first 4 chapters of our Science of Mind textbook here at the beginning of the new year. And you might say, it's mid-February. Well, some scheduling things and delays of ice apocalypse and whatnot extended our experience of this, so it's good. And like any substantial recalibration, or at least the opportunity for recalibration, taking a look around and paying attention, observing and cataloging our efforts and results will always pay dividends in the energy and resources needed and devoted to those observations. And we started by looking at expanding our definition and description of God. I mean, we've updated everything else in our life, man. And that doesn't get, that's not available for discussion, right? And we engage life, and through the advancements of the recalibrations we are doing here, we draw from the accumulation of more data and experience and the expanded perspective and possibilities that always arise from those observations. And moving from a sky god that strangely enough, seems to really look like and behave like us, as really just a supersized version of us, that's a good first step. But our paradigm and our concept of God itself as the creator of everything is pretty fundamental to everything else that we define and observe. And however we believe or describe that is as varied as the day is long. There's different descriptions of God all over the planet. But the important part is to keep everything, and I mean everything, subject to change and revision with the additional data and experience that we pick up along the way. Now, making a foundational change means our paradigm is shifted. And even the slightest shift at a foundational level, when it's exponentially out, transitioned out to the experiential level, that gets pretty substantial. And the good news is if we can ever make one shift, either intentionally as something we do, or externally from impetus around us, we can always make another shift. And then we're off to the races with another shift and another shift beyond that. And then we looked at the way life works, which is basically to respond to whatever we give it to work with by means of what we're giving our energy and attention to in this moment. And the really cool thing that we need to remember and remind each other of as lovingly as possible is just that. Life responds to whatever we give it to work with in this moment. And then it responds to whatever we're giving it to work with in this next moment. Not what we gave it 3 minutes ago or 30 years ago, but this moment. Now, when we change, what life responds back to us with changes to match. If we give life a 3, say, life responds with a matching 3 awareness and experience. And if we give life a 7, life responds with a 7 awareness or experience, which supports what the quantum explanations are showing us in tangible ways, which also supports what we looked at last week, which is that life makes all things new. Life doesn't go to your local home improvement store and get a bunch of baling wire and duct tape and try and patch the little plant back together that's failing. It provides a form, it animates that form with energy and resources, and when that form has served its purpose and function, life moves on to the next form and starts over. Something we are doing collectively as a community right here this morning with our move into this new location. Foundational change happening right here, right now. And where we move on to here, from here, will be the logical response of whatever we give life to work with as we're doing this now. Either cause and effect, either sky God responding to your prayers, either subconscious mind filtering input, either quantum field responding to our intentions and expectations. Whatever paradigm you want to use, rock on and do just that. Because Melanie's favorite Holmes quote, and I'm projecting onto her, but I've heard her say this, principle is not bound by precedent. Yeah. Yeah. Meaning that just because it's been done one way for a long time or for centuries doesn't mean it will have to be continued to do it that way. Unless we give life the same or similar things to work with and reflect back to us. He starts the chapter thusly. One of the great difficulties in the new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. Too much theory and too little practice. And what kind of practice is a good kind of practice? For the first time, you get to say this phrase in a new spot, and that is regular spiritual practice. Yeah, there you go. Right. And we have to remind ourselves, or I have to remind myself repeatedly, that we are studying and employing the principles taught in the science of mind. That is what our teaching is called, the science of mind, meaning that approach it like a scientist would. Postulate and experiment and observe the results, and then adjust our theory, our approach, and our engagement of this thing called life. because he says we only know as much as we can prove by actual demonstration. Okay? He wasn't from Missouri, but he was from Maine, but he believed in show me. Because once we start applying the principles, this knowledge, these ideas, these curiosities, we start to get a sense, just maybe a tiniest little glimpse of just how huge and just how powerful this thing called life really is. We move from supposition to experience, and that's really what we're doing our entire life, moving from ideas, the consideration of a possibility, into the experience of those ideas. And what we learn here is how to do all that intentionally. I think one of the challenges that he brings up in our engagement of metaphysics is that it seems less tangible than other sciences. But now quantum mechanics is starting to show us it is really just as tangible. And then I had a thought about quantum mechanics this week. What if that's just what the quantum field is verifying according to our intentions and our expectations? Because that's one of the big deals there, that the quantum field gives us, because that creates a reality that matches what we expect and our intention. Just food for thought while you're eating your lunch. But each time we do this, each time we realize that we're always doing this and we always will continue to do this, the more we actually demonstrate the supremacy of spiritual thought over apparent material resistance, we strengthen our belief. We strengthen our belief in ourselves. We strengthen our belief in the reliability of the response from law. Think of it as math. When I go to balance my checkbook, I don't go to the bank and get a stack of $101 bills and a bunch of coins and move it around on the table. Okay? We use the theory of math to simplify and accelerate the move from the question to the answer. Thank goodness we don't have to go to the farm and get 100 cows or 100 chickens and move them around in the backyard to do it. But the further cool thing about all these principles is that they're eternal and they're omnipresent, meaning they work wherever and they work whenever. He shares, by thinking correctly and by a conscious mental use of the law of mind, we can cause it to do definite things for us, through us. It provides all, and we choose and direct. We offer a mental form, it fills it, and brings it into tangible form on this plane of action. But the caveat is, whatever form we provide, it fills. It fills the form without judgment, without consideration, or without hesitation. It just responds automatically to whatever we're giving it to work with. So our part in the creative equation of life is to be more aware, more conscious, more intentional in the quality of what we're giving it to work with and reflect back to us. And if in our awareness and observation we notice that things, events, are not trending according to our preferences, perfect guy here today, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer is not to stomp and complain and whine that life isn't fair. Life is completely fair. Life is impartial and impersonal and just responds and reflects back to us. And the answer is not to then go around pointing fingers of blame, because that's yet another complete waste of time created by the ego. The real answer is to put all that same energy and attention into creating a new cause, which is providing a new form, which inevitably establishes a new effect, a new experience. And just when does life get around to responding to what we're giving it to work with? Immediately. Right. That'd be immediately. It immediately responds to what we're giving it to work with in this moment right here, right now. It's responding now to what we're giving it to work with, individually and collectively. And any growth or evolvement of our awareness, understanding of proficiencies of every kind comes from continuing to give life more quality material to work with and reflect back to us. Life immediately does this without deciding, oh, Walt, you don't really mean that. You don't really want that, because you aren't understanding the inevitable consequences, the collateral damage of that choice. I'm going to choose something better for you. No, 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 no. It just says yes to whatever. And that's both the challenge of life, but that's also the promise of life. Because being a law, it works all the time for everybody, everywhere, in all circumstances, no matter what. And I mean no matter what. Now, I've done this for the past 24 renditions, but I just invite you this morning to hear the wheezing of an accordion. I can already hear it in my head. And if you need help, you can tune in to Wally FM. 91.5 on your FM dial. You hear it? Wackadoo, 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 wackadoo. Hence it follows that if we believe it will not work, it really works by appearing to not work. When we believe that it cannot and will not, it really does. According to the principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does. Only it does, according to the belief that it will not.
Yay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well sung.
All right.
Keep being a drummer.
Yeah.
Well, it could be Karen Carpenter.
Oh my God. That really hurt my feelings.
What? She was a great drummer and singer.
That's really not what I'm going for, but that's all right. But all that is really what the bit in the Bible is about. It is done to us as we believe, as we thinketh in our hearts, so are we, right? And just how quickly can we change our belief and our thought? It only takes a millisecond, right? You've all experienced that personally. We've all done it. We've all know that for ourselves. Holmes goes on, he says, we are dealing with a fluent force. It is forever taking form and forever deserting the form which it has taken. It's not married to being in the same place, the same way, looking the same. And when does it change and desert one form and take another? Whenever it's provided with a new form. By whom? By us. Right? Are you sensing a theme here? Right? You should be, because there is a theme here. Here, there, and everywhere. All right. Now, on the form we provide, we got to let go of this idea that the form has to be absolutely 100% perfect. That's not the point. The point is just to get a form that's trending in the general direction of our desire. Because we're going to get better ideas, more clarity about what we desire that form to be as we go in that direction, start to experience the reflections back to us of that initial idea. He says we should be able to look a discordant fact in the face and deny its reality, period. He didn't say only in certain areas of our life, only on certain special occasions and during certain interactions. He made an absolute statement confirming that as we change our mind, as we start to take control over the one thing we have any modicum of control over, our mind, as we change our mind, our experience changes to match, immediately changes to match. And just where do we engage and get familiar with and proficient with the ability to change? By our repeated, intentional application of our knowledge and observing the results. And then making intelligent tweaks and adjustments and changes as we start to see what will make a difference, what will absolutely make a difference. In life, making adjustments, it's just like making an adjustment to a recipe. Oh, I'd like that to come out of the oven with a little more cinnamon in it than it had this time around. I'd like to adjust the recipe so that there's a little more sweetness in it, right? It's like this. More experience equals more belief, equals more conviction, equals empowerment, and equals peace of mind. That's the whole procession. He goes on, he says, change the consciousness and the false condition will disappear. Now, he starts an example of a treatment for prosperity on page 54, and it keeps going off and on over to page 57 because he gives a really great instruction and context as to why we do a treatment, and not just how to do it, but why we do it. And then when you do a treatment and you run into something, how do you address that? Okay. Our experience is first experienced in consciousness. All experience is first experienced in consciousness. Because what goes on in here is cause. And what happens, our experience of everything that goes on around us, is effect. So as we get enamored with a new life-affirming, expansive idea in here, our outer experience changes to match. As our love and anticipation of this experience grows in here, we start to feel better. We start to feel stronger. We start to see more possibilities than before. And as we keep building upon that idea, that energy, that spiral continues to build to a point where the realization and engagement of the idea at this new higher level is no longer a great big stretch away from what we know and who we believe ourselves to be. It's now just the most natural thing in the world for this to be here now, for this to be so now. And we start to experience and expect and assume good, and we start to experience and feel good. And yes, it really is that simple. Life doesn't make itself hard and difficult. We do. We choose to. So Holmes shares, he says, the one who wishes scientifically to work out his problems must daily, when? Daily, take time to meditate and mentally treat the condition no matter what the apparent contradictions may be. He goes on, he says, we should spend much time in convincing ourselves of the truth of our treatments. How do we do this? Well, I'm glad you asked, and your timing is impeccable as always. He says we should work, not with anxiety, but with expectancy, not with coercion, but with conviction, not through compulsion, but in a state of recognition and receptivity. We do not have to drive and push, but we must accept and believe. Because we are not the ones doing it. And the more you do it, the more you'll realize, I am not the one doing it. Okay? We don't have to create the power. We just simply direct it. And he answers the inevitable question, how long should I do a spiritual mind treatment? We should treat until we get results, until there comes into our objective experience the actual outpouring of our subjective words, meaning what you say, what you desire, becomes reality. And we must be willing in the meantime to give up anything and everything that would hinder the demonstration. He says, perfect belief is the beginning and the end of all good mental work. Perfect belief, not perfect knowledge, not perfect behavior, but perfect belief. He says, let's do our work conscientiously and thoroughly and leave the results to that law which is perfect. We do our part and we let it go. That's why release is the last step in spiritual mind treatment. So your challenge this week is the same challenge you have every single week, and the same challenge you've had all your life up to this moment, and the same challenge you will have in the rest of your life moving forward. And that is to live the most spiritually that you can. To live the most spiritually that you've ever done, that you've ever imagined possible before in your life. Now, we've spent some time talking about how to do that. But let me boil it down to its essence for something you can take with you. Living spiritually means reminding ourselves and each other to do it so much that it simply becomes a habit to live this way, until it moves beyond a habit and becomes part of our paradigm that we just naturally live this way. It becomes part of our identity that we are the type of person who is not just spiritual on special occasions or certain times of the week, but that we are spiritual all the time in every situation, in every group, in every interaction, and in every reaction. Is it easy? Hell no, it's not easy, man. But the immediate payoff and the residual dividends that compound upon themselves, and the awareness, the understanding, and the clarity that results from it, definitely make it worth whatever energy and attention and discomfort may be required to get us going and keep us going. Develop and live from the paradigm that there is a spiritual answer to every problem, every single problem, every one without exception. And our belief that certain things are unchangeable and tractable is not because life has decided they're that way. It's that our belief is intractable in that area. And when we do this, that seeking and finding for the spiritual aspect of life in ourselves first and foremost makes everything else that follows better and more enjoyable for us and more copacetic for everyone around us. Good. Doing that opens us up to a wider world of power and possibility and wonder. Doing that brings our attention to multiple good choices instead of needlessly suffering with the paradigm of the choice of the lesser of two evils. Evils. Doing that empowers us to take the lead, to speak up, to speak our heart, to be bold and brave, and to bring the attention to what is working, what else is possible, and clear away all the rubble and clearly show the way forward that works for everybody. Doing that reduces all the stress that not doing that creates. And when we do that enough, when we live as if everything is spiritual, everyone is a spiritual being, then we start to get going and take this thing called life a step or 17 closer to all that it is meant to be, as Mr. Fracassa just saying. And so it is now. All right. There. There it is. All right, let's look at our weekly affirmation, which is on the top of it. Is spiritual energy expressing in tangible form. This is true about me, so the moments I choose to include spiritual aspects into my living, the more I am in tune with the infinite. I open to greater possibilities here and now and ever moving forward. All right, let's give ourselves the gift of our good attention. Let's take a moment and just maybe take a deep breath or two, or close your eyes, or reposition your physical form. Just allow yourself the gift of this moment and how you are provided with everything you need to be doing this, and how available life is, and the infinite possibility and power of life is to you in this very moment. This is no different than any other moment of your life, but just taking the time to appreciate it, taking the time to observe it, and holding a bit of reverence for what this moment and every other moment offers us in the eternal view of life. Life is just spiritual energy taking tangible form on this plane of action. And life responds and fills whatever form we provide it, whatever that looks like, however we're flavoring that, however we're interpreting that, whatever our mood is at the time we're providing that form, but that form changes as soon as we decide to change it. That is the eternal promise of life, and why it can change in a millisecond, from something less enjoyable to something more enjoyable. And that change in what life is responding to is immediate. So those moments I choose to include spiritual aspects and principles into the living of my life, the daily living of my life. Things get better. I start to feel in tune with the infinite. I start to find greater possibilities and greater opportunities than ever before. And I know that greater possibilities exist right here, right now, and always have and always will continue to exist as I do the things and think the things and believe the things and expect the things that keep me available to it, to all those possibilities. Loving it all in this wonderful teaching and all the ways it reminds us of the spiritual principles and the spiritual tools we learn to direct those spiritual principles. Loving it all, we allow it to be. So now, we love this community of like-minded individuals that love and support each other. And this time together, this new space to be doing this, and all the good that comes with it, and all the good that we bring to it, and take with us as we leave and move forward. Loving it all, we release it into the law, knowing it has already responded and is making us aware of greater opportunities right here and right now. Releasing it completely with joy and gratitude, we say together. And so it is now. All right. And now we come to the part of our time together where we support this wonderful work we're doing together. We take the value we receive from the world for the value we bring to the world and pass that on with love and appreciation, and say our giving affirmation in the middle of page 6, and it says, Divine love consecrates my gifts. They go forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper. They are evidence of my commitment. They do their good and perfect work and return to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is now. All right. All right, and now Michael's going to do a couple more songs. Are you playing anywhere we can come and see you?
March 14th at New World Deli.
Oh, very cool. Good room.
Thing that,
Yeah, that Jim and Sherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, cool. Okay.
Drop D.
This church is being built by the sons of Christ. Don't need no golden book, you need a gun at night. Can I get to heaven with your big new car? You don't even know where the hell you are. You got a love for Jesus and a love for cash. You got a love for things that do not last. All you fine apostles and you hypocrites to that road to heaven, yeah, with your blood and sweat. Last night my baby said, your God does not exist. Last night my baby said, oh come on now, give us a kiss. Now there's a man that tells you you were made to sin. And another man tells you it's bound to happen again. Don't look for Jesus when you're feeling weak. Don't look for Jesus, but he's lying at your feet. Last night my baby Last night my baby said, oh, come on now, and give us a kiss. Now the River Jordan is a mighty big river, water's deep and wide. I'm gonna cross to find my Jesus on the other side. Yeah, the River Jordan is a mighty big river, water's deep and wide. I'm gonna cross to find my Jesus on the other side. Well, the River Jordan is a mighty big river, water's deep and wide. I'm gonna cross to find my Jesus on the other side. Yeah, oh. Last night my baby said, you God does not exist. Last night my baby said, oh, come on, give us. Last night my baby said, your God does not exist. Last night my baby said, oh, come on now, give us a kiss. I have no idea why I played that song, but there it was. I think I had a dream last night about the woman who inspired that song. She, I don't know how she showed up in my dream, but
We won't tell Leslie.
yeah, she, yeah, I don't know.
At least she was inspiring.
Oh yeah, no, we had a fight about that song. When I was writing it, those were her words. Your God does not exist, and I always thought, well, that's great, because anyway, I guess I need to figure out what I'm trying to say or do. Little darling, I must confess, I like you in that red party dress. Looking at you, it's just like 1962. Folks back then had some fine ideals. They made bomb shelters and Cuban heels. Tell me, darling, how does it feel to be there now? Yeah, everybody knows it always comes and goes right before your eyes. Before you say goodbye, make sure you say hello. You never really know which way the time will go. there a lot. Swore you wouldn't, but you went and bought them anyway. Recycled papers, bottles and glass. Recycled feelings, well, they won't last. The world we inherited, fading fast now from our view. Yeah, and everybody knows it always comes and goes right before your eyes. Before you say goodbye, make sure you say hello. You never really know which way the time will go. And in the big picture, well, it don't make any sense. You lose your faith and your innocence, then spend your whole life just trying to get them back. Now here we are in a crowd, see the world with the eyes of a child. It disappeared a while, but now it's come back into view. Yes, and everybody knows it always comes and goes right before your eyes. Before you say goodbye, make sure you say hello. You never really know which way the time will go. Yes, everybody knows it always comes and goes right before your eyes. Before you say goodbye, make sure you say hello. You never really know which way the time will go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Walt, for having me.
Thank you for being had.
Okay, good. Good for,
You've been had.
I've been had.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you again, Michael. Somewhere there is, oh, all right, now we come to moments of gratitude and demonstration in our life. We'll keep it, it's all right. I am personally grateful we got to see the Pepperland Players do Revolver and Rubber Soul. I think you were there too, and were you there? Wow, we were upstairs. Well, I didn't know that, but it was good. It was fun. I'm also grateful that the Uber Waymo that almost ran into me because it was avoiding a car that was turning right in front of it that didn't turn as fast as it anticipated. But it did perceive I was there, and it did not hit the car, so I got to give it props for that. But it was a little scary thinking there's nobody to shake my fist at. But even more eye-opening was coming back from Dallas and seeing a autonomous semi-tractor trailer driving on the road. And from what we could tell, there was no driver, there was no passenger, but there was all the cameras around the thing. And it did fine. I didn't notice any, as far as we know. But that was quite, it was kind of interesting. It made me think about when I was a kid, you would hear about, driverless cars, and what was the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he was on Mars and they had little self-driving taxis?
No, that
To-
was
to-
the Jetsons.
Total Recall. Well, that was my favorite reference. But it was weird how that you see those things come into being, and what we still have yet to see is pretty amazing when you start studying what's coming. Anyway, I'll say I'm grateful that we found this spot to go from, we got to have a place to go next Sunday to now here. And we might find another spot. That we were, like I said, we were in one spot for 3 weeks, and then we found another really cool spot. So open to possibilities. Does anybody else have something to share? Melanie, I also want to say I'm very grateful for my cookies and chocolate that you gave me. And I will invite, just in case you didn't know.
I'm very grateful. My husband is not a U.S. citizen, and his passport was going to expire. And we go every year to see his sister in Holland. And so we had to go, we drove all the way to Houston, big deal, right? And then they say, okay, well, you have to give us your, because his passport is, wasn't expired yet, but they wanted it. They said, so you leave it here, then you go, so for a foreigner not having a passport, it was a few weeks of, okay, when will we get it back? So we got the old passport back with all these punch holes in it, and a new passport that lasts 10 years, and that happened yesterday, and it was just like a nice, I knew, I did everything you talked about today, I did it, I wanna see his sister, I wanna see the family, blah, 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 and release, it's release.
Yeah,
So
cool.
we got it.
Well, yay God for that.
I know.
All right. Yes, Clark.
I was grateful to meet someone on Friday, the card that I gave you of someone that was interested and had heard of Science of Mind and Unity and such things, was asking about Bastrop. And said, well, you got to have a minister to start a center, but there's, Josephine reminded me, there's other activities, that we can offer, in that area. And I'm kind of gearing my mind up around that somewhat, so I know that something will develop.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I just want to, on what he said, the way we started as Science of Mind Church when I moved back to Wilmington, Delaware, was we started with a study group.
Mhm.
And just grew to where we then were in a position to start the steps to form a church, and we were able to interview some ministers, or candidates, which is some who just finished their becoming ministers or training. But that was the recommended way to start it, was with a study.
Yeah, just,
Mhm.
yeah, just get a group of people together that want to meet and talk and study teaching, yeah. All right, well, yay God for that. Yes, Tom?
And I'm just grateful that Glenda's getting to spend time with her sister and a couple of other family members. They're on a little 5-day cruise down to Cozumel, but it'll be a great time for she and her sister to connect again, and they haven't had a lot of time together, and so this will just be a really nice condensed little period of time of family.
Good, yeah.
She's enjoying it, and the weather's good. Soon she'll be in Cozumel,
All right.
and then back home.
All right, yay for all that. All right.
And I'm thankful for the Olympics. I have something to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, you like curling that
I
much?
like
Really?
Actually, the curling's pretty
It was pretty
exciting.
cool.
Oh, no. They had a big blowout of some kind, didn't they?
Yeah,
A big
with
argument.
Oh, there was some swearing going on and everything.
This is curling, this is exciting.
Cursing, curling.
Well, on that note, I'm grateful for the Olympics too, Tom. I've been really into like the half pipe, the snowboarding. Now there's the
Amazing.
freestyle, now there's the competitive, I mean, it's, the snowboarding and the freestyle skiing is just amazing.
It's,
The dancing has been just amazing.
Well, it's starting up again tonight
Right.
with the, I think the ladies freestyle and stuff like that, so.
And the booing. The booing was done at the right time.
Well, and I never thought I'd be glued to watching the cross-country skiers on the,
Yep.
last night. But man, I couldn't take my eyes off it because Sweden had somebody got up, fell again, the
Yep.
person who was in the lead, because they're like world champions. And her binding just snapped right
Yep.
off the ski, and then the mechanic comes out to fix her ski, and he falls, and so there's been a lot of rain. And amazing, well, Norway took the gold, but then amazingly, Sweden caught up. They were more than a minute behind and came in with silver. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my God.
Wow.
It was like intense and exciting. So.
all right, very good. What do you
I'll
got,
give the rest of
Fred?
it a recap later.
All right.
You're right, Tom, it's a good diversion.
All right, well, next week we will be talking about our theme, Be Love Now. And our musician will be Scott Strickland. Great, okay. And we have ordered books for the Thursday night book club. They will be in, I think they'll come in this week, so we should have them next week. But there's like this delay and everything, so I think Philip said he found one available. But we'll start the book club after everybody has the books, obviously. Chance. So we'll look into that. Let's look at your opportunity for application in your life. Watch for opportunities to view, interpret, and engage life from a more spiritual aspect. Spiritual principles are not just for certain times, they are at work all the time. Use them now to improve everything and see the multitude of possibilities available now, however that goes. All right, let's say our closing affirmation and get ready to enjoy this beautiful day and this beautiful time. And it says, I am an expression of infinite, divine, creative intelligence. Knowing a joyful serenity awaits my recognition and acceptance, I take this moment to deepen my understanding that I am perfect, whole, complete, and dynamic. My soul is forever established in life, love, light, power, peace, beauty, and joy. I lift my eyes to the divine in me, in those around me, and in all of life. I walk out into the world with an uplifted heart and a mind open to the infinite creativity of all life, and so it is now. All right. Thank you all for being here and participating and supporting everything. We will see you next time. As we tear down, if we could get the chairs back in kind of two lines along that way, that would be helpful. And